Eliza, when do you think...
Some mortgage holders may have gotten ahead on their repayments during the pandemic, but those buffers could disappear in the coming months with rising inflation and interest rates. Do you have any idea how many people could find themselves behind on repayments or in arrears?
Well, look, I've been consulting with the banks on that because while it's true that some people have been able to build a buffer, not everybody has, and as interest rates rise, clearly that puts more people into a concerning financial situation. And so I speak really regularly with the heads of the banks and not just the major banks. I spoke with one last night and we are monitoring that situation. Some people have had a buffer, but that will begin to erode as interest rates get higher. And the Reserve Bank has made it pretty clear, and the private banks are expecting this too, that Australians need to brace for more interest rate rises. We've got this inflation problem is going to get worse before it gets better, but it will get better. It will moderate next year. And one of the things that I want to do in the ministerial statement that I'll deliver next Thursday, the 28th, in the Parliament, is to talk about the things we've got working for us, so that low unemployment rate, for example, but also the things that are working against us. And I think the most confronting aspect of that ministerial statement will be our expectations for inflation and also the impact of rising interest rates on economic growth.
Just, you mentioned that it'll take till next year with inflationary pressures and rate rises. When can Australians expect their wages to outstrip the cost of living, and does that mean that they'll have to wait at least another year to 18 months before they start to see real growth? Yeah,
well, there's two parts to that, obviously. The calculation of real wages is about the relationship between inflation and wages growth. We've had stagnant wages in this country for the best part of a decade, and a lot of our policy agenda is about trying to get wages moving again, as well as at the same time as we make efforts on the supply side to take some of the sting out of this inflation. And so when those two things cross over remains to be seen. We certainly expect the real wage situation to be better next year than this year. How much better depends on our capacity to get those stagnant wages moving again. And so much of what we've been on about in the 2 months we've been in office, whether it's the minimum wage rise, whether it's some of the indications we've given around workers in the care economy, whether it's our plans around skills and childcare and clean energy and a future made in Australia and the digital economy, all of these areas is about getting wages growing sufficiently. We will have a better sense next year of what the real wage situation looks like, but I think every credible forecaster and economic commentator expects things to be difficult in the near term.